You ever notice how the room shifts before you even speak? That eerie silence when you walk in? That tension in the air that wasn't there before? That's not paranoia, chosen one. That's confirmation. You didn't blend in because you weren't designed to. You were sent to flip the script, to break the loops, to trigger everything that hides behind fake smiles and closed-door whispers. The moment your energy arrived, the masks started slipping. And now, they're panicking. They've been watching you from the shadows, making noise behind curtains, throwing darts in the dark, hoping you'd stumble. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you kept winning in places where you were supposed to fold. They wanted you silent. You got louder. They wanted you small. You expanded. You didn't just survive the setups, they backfired. Every snare they laid down, they're the ones stepping in it now. That's what happens when your presence exposes the weak foundations they built their illusions on. They weren't ready for someone who doesn't break under pressure. They weren't ready for the way your rise reflects their stagnation. That's what haunts them. It's not what you said. It's that you exist, that you elevate, that you don't flinch. Power like that terrifies those who build their world on control. So before we go any further, hit that like button and subscribe. This isn't just a message, it's a frequency. Every time you engage, you help signal the others. This isn't entertainment, this is alignment, and you didn't land here by accident. Because here's the truth. Being chosen isn't about the spotlight. It's about being a mirror that cracks falsehoods, a force that can't be copied. And right now, your power is the very storm that's unraveling everything fake around you. Before moving ahead, let me pause and speak directly to those of you who've supported this mission through super thanks. Your generosity isn't just appreciated, it's recognized as a bold act of spiritual alignment. You're not just funding a message, you're fueling a movement, standing shoulder to shoulder with those who carry the weight of being chosen in a world that plots their silence. Your support tells me your spirit sees what many miss, that this isn't content, it's a call, and you're answering it with power. And if this message resonates with something deep inside you, if you feel the war but refuse to bow to it, then take a quiet moment to affirm it in faith. Comment 999 below, not as a trend, but as a declaration, that you know who you are, that your rise is not a mistake, that no weapon formed against real alignment will ever prosper. Number 1. Stop mistaking the earthquake for a warning. It's just proof you've already shaken the room. It always starts subtly, doesn't it? The glitches in the atmosphere, the friction in rooms that used to feel familiar. Suddenly, calm places turn cold. Smiles stiffen. Messages stop. And right when you start gaining momentum, here comes the static, the misfires, the invisible weight pressing down as if life itself is trying to make you second-guess the shift inside you. But listen closely, chosen one, that wasn't bad luck. That was resistance triggered by your rise. Because the moment your energy moved out of hesitation and into alignment, it sent a signal, a frequency so clear that every false foundation around you began to crack. That tension you're feeling isn't a warning, it's a reaction. A backlash from systems, people, and energies that were never meant to handle what you're becoming. Your forward motion unsettles those who built comfort around control. Your clarity agitates those who thrive in confusion, and your growth, it's a mirror, a sharp, unapologetic reflection of everything they were too scared to face. You don't just show up, you reveal. And in a world built on illusion, the truth shakes things. That's why people who once clapped now fall silent. That's why the doors that used to open with ease now stall. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because the space is reacting to your power. When the universe shields someone, it doesn't just protect, it redirects. It disturbs everything that was quietly hoping you'd stay small. And make no mistake, the weird energy around you right now has nothing to do with your flaws. It has everything to do with your force. You weren't too intense. You were just impossible to dilute. You weren't intimidating. You were just too awake to play unconscious. The people flinching in your presence aren't offended by your light. They're haunted by the parts of themselves they buried to survive. And now that you walk in wholeness, you make it impossible for them to hide. That's not your burden. That's your brilliance. Being chosen isn't about peace. It's about power. And power disrupts. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be felt. To shake loose the patterns that have trapped generations in cycles of settling. Your next move won't just elevate you, it will fracture the illusions that kept others stuck. You are not the calm, you are the storm, the disruption they never planned for, the silence that speaks when the noise runs dry, the shift that exposes, enlightens, and breaks the game open. So don't retreat, don't dim, and don't dare apologize for the waves you're making. You're not imagining this shift. You are it. Number 2. Don't let the noise fool you. They only stir chaos. When your shift becomes unstoppable, they don't attack the uncertain. They don't scramble over someone who's standing still. But the moment you start shifting, really shifting, into alignment, into clarity, into that unshakable energy they can't replicate, here comes the noise. The chaos doesn't come to stop you. It comes to confuse you, to cloud your focus just enough to make you question what's already unfolding. But chosen one, don't take the bait. The noise isn't proof of failure. It's the alarm of your arrival. It's the sound of weak foundations trembling beneath your footsteps. They sense you're becoming long before you do. That's why everything starts glitching right when you commit. Old wounds resurface, people act brand new, delays hit without warning. Don't call it coincidence, that's interference. The shift inside you, it's not just personal, it's spiritual. It disrupts structures. It disturbs those who've profited off your silence, your confusion, your delay. And now that you're rising with clarity, they throw chaos like confetti, hoping you'll get distracted just long enough to miss the door cracking open in front of you. But here's your power. Don't flinch. Don't react. Don't give chaos your attention. Let it scream while you stay focused. Let it swirl while you stay grounded. Because the louder the noise, the closer you are. And the closer you are, the more terrified they become. Number 3. Quit calling it betrayal. It's the universe clearing out what was never loyal to begin with. Let's be honest, chosen one. What you thought was betrayal was really divine exposure. That sting in your chest, that silence that came out of nowhere, that shift in people who swore they were solid. It wasn't personal, it was precise. The moment your energy upgraded, loyalty got tested, not by accident, but by design, because you were about to rise, and what was fake couldn't go with you. You didn't lose support, you lost weight. And that silence you've been sitting in, that wasn't abandonment, that was alignment. The universe knew what you couldn't see yet, that some people were only loyal to your past. They loved your potential as long as it stayed quiet. But now that you've started walking in it, now that your light is exposing shadows, they're gone. Good. Let them go. Let them watch. You didn't get stabbed in the back. You got pushed into clarity. And now that you've seen their truth, don't unsee it. Don't call it betrayal when it was really protection. When the universe starts preparing you for the next level, the first thing it does is clean the room. You didn't outgrow them by accident. You evolved on purpose. So stop grieving what revealed itself. That wasn't love. That was access. And it's revoked. Number 4. Stop shrinking. When the room gets cold, it's your energy forcing the masks to fall. You've been wondering why the room goes quiet when you walk in, why conversations shift, why smiles tighten, why the temperature drops even when no one says a word. That's not random, that's resonance. That's your energy hitting the walls before your voice ever does. And chosen one, you need to hear this. The coldness in the room isn't your fault, it's your confirmation. You're not shrinking the space, you're revealing it. The shift you bring isn't noise, it's truth. It forces the fake to flinch, makes the hidden motives twitch, and drags every mask to the edge of exposure. You're not just walking in, you're walking in different. You're walking in aligned, and that alone is enough to set the whole room on edge. But here's where the real power lives. You don't have to prove anything. Your presence is already speaking, loudly, and it terrifies those who've survived by pretending. That's why the energy gets weird. That's why people pull back. You didn't offend them, you convicted them, without trying, without talking, just by being who you are. So stop shrinking, stop second-guessing, stop apologizing for the frequency you carry. You were never meant to blend in. You were sent to disturb the comfortable, to be the signal in a world addicted to static. Let them feel the chill. Let them shift in their seat. Let them adjust. That's not your cue to play small. That's your reminder that you're the reason the atmosphere cracked open in the first place. You didn't change the energy. You are the energy. And they felt you before they saw you. Number 5. Don't chase closed doors. They locked it because you outgrew the room. Chosen one, stop replaying the rejection like it was your failure. That door didn't close because you weren't good enough. It slammed shut because your energy no longer fit in a space built for smaller versions of you. You didn't lose access. You outgrew the limit. And sometimes when your presence gets too potent, too aligned, too awakened, the universe will snatch you out before your light gets dimmed, trying to fit back into old ceilings. They didn't lock you out to punish you. They locked it because if you stayed, you would have shrunk. You would have started accepting half yeses, half love, half purpose. You would have poured into a space that had already run dry for you. And the truth is, that room wasn't rejecting you. It was revealing its expiration date. You think the delay is denial. You think the missed opportunity was a mistake. But what you don't see is that your evolution was too loud for that environment. Your silence was too telling. Your presence made people twitch, and they masked it as disinterest, as detachment, when in reality, they couldn't handle the new you. Let them lock it, let them watch, let them whisper, because what's coming next doesn't require an open door, it requires an open you. And the path you're meant to walk won't ask you to chase validation. It will demand you to own your expansion unapologetically. You didn't miss out. You were moved up. Number 6. Don't react to the static. Stillness is the move that breaks their whole strategy. They don't need you to fail. They just need you to flinch. That's the play. That's the trap. The chaos they're stirring around you isn't built to destroy you outright. It's crafted to agitate, distract, provoke. Because if they can't touch your blessing, they'll try to trigger your reaction. They want you out of alignment, off your center, shaky, emotional. Because once you react, you step into their terrain. And that's where the confusion begins. But chosen ones don't fight like everyone else. You've learned this the hard way. Stillness is not weakness. It's warfare. The kind that unnerves every fake alliance, every masked enemy, every manipulative setup. Because silence makes noise. Stillness exposes motive. And when you stop responding, they run out of moves. They want the old version of you, the one who explained everything, defended everything, reacted to everything. But that version is gone, evolved, outgrown, buried in discipline. Now you move different. You protect your frequency. You let the storm rage while you conserve your fire. Because your stillness, it's not passivity, it's precision. And when your time comes, and it will, it's going to be undeniable, loud without saying a word. So don't react, don't explain, don't step out of alignment to entertain chaos. Stay still. That's how you win. Number 7. Stop rushing the timing. Delay is just the universe fortifying your fire. Chosen one, I know what it feels like to sit in the waiting room while everyone else seems to be moving. You're pacing inside your purpose, wondering why the doors won't open yet. But this delay, it's not denial, it's refinement. The universe doesn't rush what it plans to unleash with force. You're not being held back. You're being hardened, tempered, pressurized until your breakthrough doesn't just shift your life. It shakes every space you step into. Your fire isn't average, it's disruptive. That's why your timeline can't look like anyone else's, because what you carry is volcanic. And if it erupted too early, it would burn through the wrong stages and scorch the wrong hands. So yes, it's taking time. And that's the point. You're not being prepared for a moment. You're being forged for impact. Let others run ahead for attention. Let them chase fast results and instant validation. Your power, it's in the delay. Because what's coming isn't light, it's legacy. You don't need to prove anything, you just need to keep preparing. So breathe, stay focused. The silence is sacred, the stillness is strategic, and when your moment comes, it won't knock, it'll erupt, and everything that once doubted you will feel the aftershock. Number 8. Don't confuse resistance with rejection. You're not under attack, you're causing disruption. Chosen one, it's time to stop calling it rejection when it's really resistance to your power. You weren't cast out, you were cast forward. They didn't deny you because you weren't worthy. They pushed back because your energy started shaking the floorboards beneath everything they built on silence and control. You're not the victim here. You're the variable that broke the pattern. That tension in the air, that shift in how they speak to you, that sudden distance that wasn't there before. It's not personal, it's energetic. The moment you moved with clarity, you made confusion tremble. The second you chose peace, every chaotic attachment began to panic. This isn't an attack, it's a disruption. And guess what? You caused it. You see, systems don't fight what doesn't threaten them. Rooms don't go cold unless someone walks in with a different frequency. You're not being tested because you're weak. You're being met with friction because you've stopped bending. And when something refuses to bend, it forces everything around it to either snap or adjust. So no, it's not rejection. It's your arrival shaking things out of alignment. You're not being pushed out. You're being made impossible to contain. And that's exactly what's supposed to happen when the real ones walk in. You were never chosen to keep things smooth. You were chosen to break what needed breaking. Stand tall in that disruption. Let the resistance be your reminder. Your presence still shifts things. Number 9. Stop interpreting pressure as a sign to quit. Turbulence means you're finally in flight. Chosen one, pressure isn't punishment. It's the evidence that you've taken off. Turbulence doesn't happen on the runway. It hits once you're in the air. And right now, you're not stuck. You're soaring. The reason everything feels unstable, louder, heavier, more intense, it's because your momentum just broke through a layer they never wanted you to reach. They'll try to convince you you're doing something wrong, that you've gone too far, moved too fast, asked for too much. But that's projection. What they're really saying is, how dare you fly when we clipped our own wings? They don't want you to know that pressure is confirmation, not condemnation. It's the system reacting to your rise. The enemy doesn't chase the still, they go after what's in motion. So no, you're not falling apart, you're breaking altitude. This is where the weak turn back, but not you. You've outgrown the ground. You've outlasted the delay. You've outlived their doubts. And now, even the air feels different around you because you've entered a realm where gravity doesn't rule, focus does. Hold steady. Don't descend to explain. Don't lower your altitude to comfort those who refuse to rise. Stay in flight. Number 10. Don't let distractions win. They can't kill your gift, so they'll try to scatter your focus. They know they can't touch what you carry. So what's the next best move? Confuse you. Flood your path with distractions. Stir up chaos in places that were finally feeling clear. That's the strategy, because if they can't stop the blessing, they'll try to stop you from showing up to receive it. Chosen one, this isn't random, it's targeted. And the moment you got close to alignment, the noise got loud on purpose. You ever notice how the temptations hit hardest right after your discipline kicked in? How old patterns suddenly resurface when you're finally focused? That's not coincidence, it's sabotage in disguise. You are the threat, and your focus, that's your most dangerous weapon, because a chosen one locked in is unstoppable. They don't need to destroy your path, they just need you to look away from it long enough to miss your moment. But not this time. You've outgrown the bait. You've learned the game. You're not here to react to noise. You're here to build what they never saw coming. Let the drama spiral. Let the distractions dance. Let the temptations try their tired tricks. Your eyes are locked on the vision now, and your silence. That's not weakness, it's strategy. So when life tries to pull you left, keep walking straight. When chaos knocks, answer with clarity. And when the distractions scream for your attention, give them your silence. Because you're not here to flinch, you're here to finish. And this time nothing, absolutely nothing, is stopping your rise. You weren't just chosen to survive the fire. You were built to walk through it unshaken. Stay focused. Stay dangerous. Number 11. Stop calling it a setback. Rejection was just the exit before you settled for less. They didn't reject you, they rerouted you. That no you took personal. It wasn't a loss. It was an intervention, a divine interruption. A closed door you would have stayed behind too long if life hadn't slammed it shut. And I know it stung. I know it made you question your value. But chosen one, rejection was the universe's way of saying, don't you dare settle in a space that couldn't handle your full expansion. That room you begged to stay in, it was too small. That connection you grieved, it was anchored in comfort, not calling. The people who pushed you out weren't ahead of you. They just couldn't breathe in the frequency you were about to rise into. They didn't see the full version of you coming, and frankly, they weren't supposed to. You've got to stop mourning access that was never a blessing. It was a trap. The moment you start walking like you're meant for more, rejection becomes protection. Delay becomes preparation. The exit becomes your elevation. It wasn't personal, it was precise. You weren't denied. You were redirected to higher ground. So let go of what didn't open. Let go of who couldn't see you. And whatever you do, stop calling it a setback. It was a secret upgrade in disguise. Number 12. Quit waiting for permission. You weren't meant to blend in. You were born to break patterns. Chosen one, let's make this clear. You were never sent here to play it safe. You weren't wired for silence, scripted for sameness, or built to shrink for the comfort of the crowd. So why are you still looking around for someone to nod before you move? Why are you hesitating like your power needs approval? You didn't come here to blend in, you came to break the mold. Your very existence rattles routines. Your voice disrupts the narrative. Your decisions crack the cycle. And that's why the tension rises when you walk in. Not because you're doing too much, but because your presence makes average feel exposed. You don't need a round of applause to validate your direction. You need to remember who the hell you are. They want you tame, predictable, contained. But your frequency was never meant to be boxed in. It was meant to break locks wide open. You are the blueprint for change they never saw coming. So stop tiptoeing through doors you were meant to kick open. Stop shrinking your power to fit outdated expectations. You weren't born for permission. You were born for purpose. Start walking like the system was built to be interrupted by you. Because it was. And as we close this message, let this truth settle deep. The wait is over. The world doesn't need another quiet soul trying to blend in. It needs you in full power, fully awake, fully aligned. If this hit your spirit like confirmation, don't scroll past it. Hit that like button, subscribe to stay locked in, and drop 999 in the comments if you know you were never made to ask for permission. You were made to shift atmospheres. This is your reminder. This is your signal. Stand tall, because the pattern ends with you, and the breakthrough begins now.